everybody. Welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 68. I am B.
And I'm Chick.
And I'm Chris.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Doing great. Doing lovely. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. You have like the shit fucking eating grin on your face.
I had a fun weekend.
Now. I know.
I
actually had a good weekend.
Yeah.
I had a very good weekend myself.
Yeah?
What about you?
I had a pretty good weekend, actually.
Good. Look at that. Three
All
good
right.
weekends all
Three
around.
good weekends. All right. I like it.
This is a good end to the month of July.
It really was.
How quick this summer's going.
How
Speaking
quick
of
is
that,
this summer
it's
going?
nuts.
It's over. It's over, man.
It's over.
It's
How do we
over.
want to start this, though? Do you want to get into yours, or you want to get into mine? Chris, do you have anything?
I just kind of went to some summer
all right.
parties, you know?
Okay.
All right,
Good,
nice.
good old summer block parties.
One of mine's relatively quick. I want to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about my movie experience.
I want to hear about it. I heard about it. We hung out on Saturday night, and we'll get to that.
Mhm.
But the amount of hype that he brought this movie, he talked about it the entire night. And
The entire night?
The entire
Come
night.
on,
But
I
go
talked
on.
about it a lot.
no,
I want to talk
am
about it.
excited.
I've been talking to everybody.
I saw you mention it on Facebook or something, too.
Yeah, so I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's ninth film.
Yes.
And it lived up to all of my expectations and some. So, don't laugh.
I'm not. Expectations plus.
Exactly. I was thoroughly impressed and entertained throughout this whole movie. But so I get ready. I had to do a couple things Friday before my movie. I was going to a 10:15 movie.
You went by yourself, right?
Yeah, I went by myself.
That's nice.
I got my
theater?
tickets the days before I went to the UA in Farmingdale.
Nice.
Which someone was like, "Oh, don't you like?" B was telling me.
Yes, someone.
He wants. I
The
forgot.
guy that you talk to every week, and you're sitting next to right now. Someone. This guy.
He goes, "Don't you like to scope out the scene before you get in your theater and you see?"
Well, here's the
and
thing.
because he asked me if it was crowded, and I said, "I don't know."
Well, here's the thing.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, he
Wait,
doesn't explain what he's
Do
talking
you
about.
drive around to multiple
No,
theaters?
no.
You
No.
can see him
yeah,
picking the
I can see him
emptiest
trying to
No,
find the
you
nicest,
idiots.
the best theater. To
Chick just doesn't
anxiety.
explain what he's about to talk about. So nowadays, movie theaters have where you buy a ticket in advance and you pick out your seat.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this.
So I picked not in the lower section. I picked the upper section, but the first row aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect
Okay,
seat
that's a
for
good
me,
seat,
so I don't
yeah.
have to do much, moving in between
Do these
people.
recline or they're...
Yeah, full
okay,
reclines.
Yeah. You need that now.
And I knew I didn't want to be all the way in the back, but I didn't want to be all the way close, and I wanted to have room. I didn't want anybody in front of me, so I got the first row right behind the handicap.
Did you get the handicap? Oh.
It was right behind the handicap, which was good because it was like a level up. And I was like, awesome. I don't have to worry about getting there and finding my seat and getting anything. So I
See,
pulled
I
in.
like this feature.
You like it or you don't?
I like it.
I love it.
hate
I
it.
think it's
great.
I think it's amazing.
All right, can I just say my argument? This is what I like. I like to go to a movie theater. First of all, I'm prompt. I'm not late to stuff.
I wasn't
okay?
late, but okay.
But you.
I'll explain
Okay.
it.
I like to go into a movie theater, and if there's a couple of slobs sitting in a seat, I don't want to sit next to them.
You know what the beauty about these new theaters is that even
Yes.
next to somebody, you have
You got
space.
space.
Yeah, but
Like, I was next
I
to
don't
a
want
couple.
to sit next to a couple.
Unfortunately, when you're going to a movie that just came out the night of, you're gonna sit next to somebody. And if you're not going with your friends, it's gonna be a
Were
stranger.
there empty seats there though?
I couldn't really tell.
There
and
were.
and I'll tell you why, but I really don't think. I
You
think,
said it wasn't a packed theater.
I said it was. I might have been packed. I couldn't really tell. I think it was some
How do
seats
you,
open.
You know what? Another thing
Because that's what I want. Let's me get into it.
No. No, because now you got me started. This is another thing. Another thing that bothers me about you. You are so unaware of your surroundings.
And that's not true. I'm very
think that's
aware of my
probably
surroundings.
No, it is so
I
true.
feel like it's probably a little true.
But can I explain myself in
very
this
in your
situation?
world. You're in-
yeah, I am in my
in your
world.
own
I'm
world.
in my
Yeah.
world. But so I get my tickets. I smoked a blunt before I even took the ride there. Smoked another blunt on the way there. So I smoked 2 blunts face to face, back to back to my face.
Okay.
To get nice and ready for this movie. I was so
Okay.
excited. I had my pen for the
I
actual
gotta get
movie.
really high for this.
Gotta get really high. So I park in the theater parking lot, and I'm sitting there and I'm finishing my blunt because I'm like, wow, I don't have to worry about not getting a ticket or not finding a seat. It's already ready. So the movie started at 10:15. I walked in the theater at 10:12.
Okay.
Walked in, got myself some nachos, and a large soda.
Nachos at the movie theater,
I
not my
love
favorite choice.
nachos.
Yeah, no, I'm a popcorn guy.
I like popcorn, but I was in the mood for some chips and cheese.
I like
man.
movie theater popcorn
Yeah.
specifically, though. There's
Oh,
something
I hear ya.
special about it.
But that won't last me too long. I just wanted to crush this and get
I
into
just
the
feel like
movie.
the nachos at a movie theater
Wait,
or
you
something.
eat outside?
No. I don't mean like no.
He takes it into
He
a
eats it
bathroom
at the
stall.
counter.
So then I get into my seat now, and it's literally perfectly timed. Started at 10:15. I walked in as the first coming attraction started.
Okay.
Now it's already dark, pitch black in there. Why I couldn't tell if it was packed.
Yeah, but you didn't even look, and I know.
I didn't look a ton, but I thought, there was people there. It wasn't like I was
Yeah,
walking
I
into
mean-
an empty theater. I couldn't say if it was sold out.
Gotcha.
That's how I'll leave it. So I see my seat and it says E12, and I walk and I'm like, oh fuck, there's a couple right
Of
there.
course there is.
But I saw 2 empty seats right behind my seat, and I'm like, you know what?
You know what? I wish I can go back to the old days when I could just choose to be in that seat,
Listen.
right? Yeah.
But it didn't bother me. So I sat down there, but literally as soon as I was putting my ass on the seat, these guys were like, is that F12? I said, oh, my bad, I thought it was E12.
Yeah.
Tried to pull one past, couldn't get it, but so I moved up and I sat in my seat and I, sat down, full recline, crushed my nachos during the coming attractions,
Like
and then I
pretzel
had my
clouds.
soda to nice and
That couple probably hates this new way because they're like, God, this guy has
They're
to
getting
sit
like
next to
they're
us?"
getting like cheese drippings
Yeah.
on them.
No,
It's like
Yeah.
you got
exploding
your own
outward.
table in front of you now. Like movie theaters.
No, it is nice.
This
I
is
know.
the first time I was in one of these, and it
Oh,
was
really?
fucking fantastic. Because I don't go too much anymore.
You spent a lot of time out of the house this
I
weekend.
did. I was
This
out
is
of the
like
house
this is
a
big
lot
weekend.
this weekend.
Well, you're literally
Almost
tan.
too
You're
much.
tan.
I know.
Like,
I was in the pool one day, so I sit down, I get ready for the movie to start, and I was just for 2 hours and 45 minutes in the zone watching this movie. The camera work and how he shot a lot of his shots was fantastic. A lot of overhead shots. When they were in the cars, it was like behind the driver and the passenger. It was just a lot of really cool shots, and it like flowed as they were. He was able to put in a lot of the Hollywood scenery, and it was just so well made. It started a little slow for a Tarantino flick, but it like gradually picked up, and it wasn't your typical grindhouse flick from him. It was really just about like Leonardo DiCaprio's character for majority of the movie with the Manson thing on the side, and then he just has his twist on the ending, and I thought it was the best ending he's done in all of his movies.
I heard good things about the ending.
It was, as far as a movie, it was similar to Inglourious Bastards. I won't give away
I
too
love
much like that,
Inglourious
in the sense that he put his twist on history,
Okay.
and it was just excellent.
Now, in typical Quentin Tarantino style, did he have a lot of
Dialogue?
there was dialogue? There's 2 things that you can get in a Quentin Tarantino movie. One is a long dialogue. The other is shots of women's feet.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
a lot of feet.
He shows every girl basically when there's someone's walking. He basically shows them from the feet and then gradually goes up.
Quentin Tarantino has a huge foot fetish.
A known for
Yeah, so like you look at like
I actually did not know that. Really.
Oh, you
and I'm
didn't
a
know
huge
that?
Tarantino guy. I never heard
dude,
that.
that's like
before.
one of the biggest things. Like Uma Thurman, he's in love with her feet.
Oh, he shows up like Margot Robbie and.
How do you guys not know this?
Dude, I'm a huge Tarantino. I never heard the feet thing. I
Oh,
really
come
didn't.
on.
I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you? I'm not. I'm not obsessed.
Focus,
He's just
man.
my fucking. He's just my man.
You're not a
But
man.
it was. I loved it. It was better than Hateful Eight. I liked it better than all of his movies except for Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's his third best just yet because I do want to go see it again and kind of see if there's anything
Digest
I missed or just digest it a little more. It's his newest movie, so sometimes that plays into how great you really think it is. But the cast is, I mean, for every small little role, there's a big name guy playing it. Timothy Olyphant was in it. Dakota Fanning was in it. Luke Perry's in it.
His last movie.
Yeah, Michael Madsen's in it. Kurt Russell's in it, and like I'm not saying big characters, but like little roles, big names, and it's like everybody. And it was just a little girl who's like probably 8-9 years old in the movie was fantastic. I loved it, and I highly recommend people go see it.
All right, good. Now I'm a big fan of like big time actors or actresses playing small parts.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
I
awesome.
think that's awesome.
Like
Yeah.
if like you, oh my god, that's like so and so, and they're only there for like one scene. They like open it. That's awesome.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? That Loudest Voice show that you told me about?
Yes.
Seth MacFarlane, totally unannounced, that whole show.
But he's a decent role in that though.
You think? And maybe
I
I'm
mean,
just not
he's-
getting up to the parts, but like,
What episode are you up to?
I just watched.
Listen, he's not a main character, but he's a legit supporting character in that. It's not a
maybe
cameo
I'm not
role in
getting
my
to that
opinion.
part yet, because
Like-
I feel like he's just there sometimes.
I mean, he is,
And, like,
but he's
that's fucking
in.
says
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
but he's in most
I still have
of
to
the
check
series.
that
So I
figure
feel
out.
like it's, and I just mean that his role is reoccurring.
It is.
These guys were like
Oh, they're
one
in and
scene.
out.
Yeah, it's like Timothy Oliphant's in it for one scene. Like all these big names are literally one scene. I wanted to listen back because I'm pretty sure Samuel L. Jackson even had a narration in it a little
that's
bit.
cool.
But it was excellent. I was so happy, and it was one of the most pleasant experiences I had in the movie theater.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. What do
So
you
that
like?
was I'm just laughing because that was just like in my nachos, my blunts, and my great movie, and I
Yeah.
was so fucking happy.
That's who you are.
That is who
You
I
know,
am.
that's-
I walked out of that
nachos and
theater
blunts, that's your-
so happy, and it was probably one of my best nights I've had in a long time. And it was
Oh,
simple.
that's awesome.
Ah,
That's
God.
good to hear. Did you get like Chili's across the street or something like that?
No.
Or
I was
like
actually dog sitting previous to the movie.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so that brings us into the other point. You also spent the weekend working for your friends, basically.
Yes, I did.
You were hired by two of your
Us
friends.
Friday after work, I had to babysit my nephew. I took him
Oh,
to
okay.
T-ball, came home, I had to put him to sleep. Then I went to dog sit for my one buddy for the weekend. I had to go there throughout the whole weekend and take his dog out.
Mhm.
Who me and his dog have an interesting relationship.
Yeah, dog doesn't.
The dog doesn't dislike me. It doesn't
It sounds like
bite
it
or
doesn't like you.
no. It doesn't bite or anything. But it's an adopted dog. I guess I don't know.
It's a little
So just a
skittish.
little skittish people at
And
first.
you look like its old owner.
Yeah, maybe, exactly, maybe. But we
Yeah.
got along good. No one killed. He didn't kill me. And I dog sat, and then I took this handsome gentleman
Yes.
to the Hamptons on Saturday.
So I don't know. Did we talk about it last week that I threw out a text asking?
I don't think so because I think
no,
that was
no,
after the show.
It might have been after. So I threw out a text. I had a show in the Hamptons this week, and I threw out a text to both of you guys. I said, "Would any of you guys like to be my personal driver this week? And I'll pay you, and I will, buy you dinner at the club." Basically,
He took me out on a date.
I took you out on a date. It was the fastest chick ever responded to any of my texts. He's like, "I'll do it," and right away
It was very
It
instant,
was.
though.
It was.
And you could feel the excitement.
Well, he
coming
put it
in.
out there. I wanted to beat you to the punch.
Yeah, and when you said yes, I was excited, but I was a little nervous that you were gonna forget or something was gonna happen. That's
It's not out of the
it's
realm of
not out of the
possibility.
and I'm like, I want to make sure you're gonna be there.
How many times did you have to verify? And every time I gave you the same answer.
I understand
I'm there.
that, but listen, you
I
know
get
who
it.
we're dealing with here. So
Called me too much.
Jesus.
You caught that. I like
That
this.
was fair.
So so Saturday comes and right away, we set things up. You're also very much, you need to know the details.
Okay, he wants me to pick him up, and he tells me around 6. I'm at my buddy's barbecue, so I'm trying to gauge when I have to leave to
Yeah.
go home to roll up for the night,
He's got
and just
Oh,
to
he was-
because I
a
forget.
pre-roll, yeah.
I forget he's got a lot of things he has to take care of before. He's not. You're not somebody that could get in the car and go. Like you have.
Normally, I can sometimes, but it depends. If I'm going for the night, I want to go prepared.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have all my. I mean, I could
And
have
he
brought
was
the pot there
He was
and roll, but I wasn't. I just want to know what time to leave, and he can't give me an answer.
Well, I wanted to say after 6 because I was working all day, so I wanted to make sure I could, what time I was getting back, because I was stuck in
And
Connecticut.
yeah,
all
I
day.
wasn't hounding. I asked you
I
once, you
understand.
didn't know, and then I called you again, and I said, "Listen, do you have a closer gauge of when
I
you're
get
going
it.
to be
It's
around?"
all, part of the build-up. It's just, here, this is you.
This is
In a
me.
nutshell. So we finally get together. You're there right on time. Maybe 10 minutes late. That's not something I'll...
Maybe 10 minutes late.
Yeah, maybe 5-10 minutes late. It's fine. So...
That's not true.
That's fair.
That's not fair.
You
though,
were
because it
late
wasn't
today
true.
at your house.
I wasn't late at my house. You got here early. I said, "Listen, I'm eating."
yeah.
Yeah, but then you didn't come out to like
I had to
6:10.
I had to go use the bathroom after it.
You had to recycle that food.
I had to recycle that food.
So he picks me up, and then we head out there, and I was excited for this night.
It was.
I was like, this is fun. Because usually, I go out to one of these shows, and it's like me by myself. Like this, I was in in Mohegan Sun, walking around the casino by myself all day last night.
Nice.
But like,
That's gotta get old.
but I was like, all right, I have a friend here.
Partner in
This is
crime.
gonna be fun. So we go right away. He wants the money off the top. he wants the money. Like, he's like, I'm gonna fill up the gas. Maybe we could work out a deal where you put the gas in the car and the rest, and all the way. Yeah, dude, he's negotiating the money from the jump.
Minute one.
I can't even argue
He's
this.
trying to upcharge me, and then I'm like, all right, buddy, no problem, we'll do this.
He's got an accent.
Oh, it was nuts. So I'm like, all right, and then he goes, and by the way, you did say dinner too, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, Jim. I'm like, I'm spending an awful lot of money to hang out with my friend for the night.
I did feel bad,
No,
but you told me.
You felt bad for about 5 minutes
I did.
until we got on the road, and you're like, all right, let's see if I can get more. So
Let's see how great I can make this night.
I'm
Make chick
dipping my
rich
credit
again.
card into the gas machine, and he's like, all right, so let's see, we could add a little bit of that up and put money here, and you know.
He's doing all sorts of sketchy math.
Yeah.
Wait, these numbers don't.
I
He doesn't
definitely-
realize it when he left. When he got home that next day to check his bank statement.
God.
I just gave Chick $400.
Yeah, I definitely spent more than the price I offered, but that's fine. It was well worth it.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Well, give and take.
Give or take a few bucks.
Yeah. Give a few. More than take. So,
I took a few
Chick
more
didn't-
bucks.
yeah, he did.
Chick didn't lose.
No, he didn't lose.
No, Chick doesn't lose on these.
No, and it was a fun night.
It was a fun
Now we
night.
got there, and it was like this. It's an old place in West
Dude,
Hampton.
when we first walked in, I was like, this is not going to be a fun crowd.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it was
it looked
sad.
like the average age was fucking 70.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, there was a lot of old people, and I know. And by the way, so I get there, and right away the guy's like, "All right, you're gonna have to deal." Now I don't even know if you saw all this.
I saw all of it.
Okay, because I came up to you at one point of something that happened during that night, and you totally missed it, and I'll get into that. That's what makes me think of that. You're
Oh,
unaware
right.
of your surroundings. So I get there, and right away, you know, I have you sit down. Okay, you're in a nice area by yourself.
I was the guy who sat down in the middle table.
The middle table.
With 7 seats empty around me,
Nice.
and then everybody else was sitting around me. So eventually, B's like, "Can you move?"
Yeah, because they kept coming up to the front desk area and like, we reserve tables, but there's just a weird dude. So I'm like, I'll handle
There's
that.
someone there. He looks lonely.
Yeah.
Just
There's
sitting there playing
a
darts on
guy
my
that,
phone.
yeah, there's playing darts. So right away I get there and I'm hosting the show, which is a lot. Like you see, it's
Yeah,
like,
it is. It's a lot.
full workload. Like it's
No, you do the whole show. You did it.
I have to light the comics. I have to, get their information, what they want to be. I've talked about it. It's a hassle, but also a good experience. So right away he's like, all right, here's the deal. You're gonna do everything. This guy's got one leg and the other leg is halfway. Great. That's a good impression. He's awesome though. He's my
That's how
boy.
the guy laughs.
He does. It's a great laugh.
It's a great laugh.
So no, he's awesome, and so he's like, "Well, you're gonna do all the work here. You're gonna go. The comics are over there. You set the lineup for me. So I'm like, all right, now I'm doing that. I'm dealing with the comics. Get that set up. Now he goes. I go back to him. He's like, all right. So now the music is on. You gotta shut the music off. Check the microphone. I go to check the microphone, which is always weird because there's people sitting there, and I'm like, oh, hello, like an idiot, and they're like, what's going on? The microphone is a little low. Now I have to go into this separate room. There's like a big board that says "Do not touch." Nobody works there apparently. I'm the only one. There's nobody from the
They
restaurant.
didn't hire anybody to work for that.
No,
They knew they had you.
They had me, yeah. So now I'm like, all right. So I had to run downstairs, talk to the manager, and he's like, oh yeah, you got to press this. So now I'm like trying to figure out how to run a board. You know how I am with electronics.
No, you're great at it. You wanna?
Yeah. So it was like that times 12. It was a huge. Yeah. So I figured out how to do it. I got the house lights down, the music. It was a whole process. As I'm running around doing this, there's this front table, probably 8 people. The lady taps me. She goes, "Excuse me, sir. Do you work here?" Because everybody thinks I work there because I'm the only one running around, right? And I'm like, no, but I'm going to be hosting the comedy show. You guys excited for that? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what's going on? Is there anything I can help you with? She goes, yeah, we spilt on our tablecloth. Is there any way we can get a new tablecloth? Now, from my time I spent in the boardroom with the operation thing over there, I was like, yeah, I think I could do that. So I run back and I find like a linen closet in this restaurant, and I start taking the tablecloth out, and I go back to the table, and I'm like, all right, ladies, pick up your drinks, and I take the old tablecloth.
Oh, you work at the restaurant?
Yeah, I work. I'm in this food service industry. I ball up this tablecloth, and then I take the new one, and I spread it out, and I put it down. I'm like, all right, put your drinks back down. We're gonna have a good night tonight, right, ladies? And I'm like, this is crazy. I go over to Chick, and Chick's sitting there. I'm like, dude, you see that? I'm like bussing tables over here. And he's like, what? He's like, honestly, bro, I'm not paying attention to you. I'm like, you're missing like really wacky stuff that's going on.
I wasn't
he's
looking at
buried
you
in
at
his
all.
phone.
It's a waiting area. Everyone's just sitting there.
Yeah, I know, but it just brings back to my point of like you just I sort of am the opposite, and maybe to a fault. I like look around too much as to what's going on. I try to take notes of everything.
The only thing I'm staring at is at the talent that's in the room.
Yes.
I can tell you where all the girls
That's
are
the
sitting
other thing.
in that whole place.
You were looking at the girls. So now we're sitting in this bench where we have to keep them where the comics are, because this, people end up filing in. There was a good amount of people.
it was a packed room.
So now the comics are there, and I know some of those comics brought their family members, and he's like, look at that girl right there, she's hot. And I'm like, dude, relax, because I'm pretty sure the comic right next to us, it was his wife or something like that.
No, it was the Asian girl who I had.
Asian girl.
The Asian girl, and she was hot with her pink hair and a nice little body, but I think it was fiance or whatever was just right next to her.
Yeah, it was something like I thought one of the it might have been like.
But either way, I was complimenting her. I wasn't like I was saying anything
and
bad.
that's what he's saying. I'm complimenting. Then he's
sitting in the corner like, hey,
yeah,
hey.
I'm worried they're gonna hear. I don't know. And then
hear that she's good looking?
I don't know who it is.
Maybe get a little creeped out.
It's just listen. If I'm sitting there, if my sister or my mother or my girlfriend are sitting at a table, and there's some dude sitting next to me, like, she's hot, and it's and you look over and it's Chick. Yeah. Oh God, the guy that's been playing.
He's got a
phone
meth
darts all
shirt
night.
and shorts.
Jesus. So and then he starts picking apart the comics. He's like, that one right there, he's not gonna be funny. I can tell right now. He doesn't look funny. Which, by the way, he was completely wrong, because that
guy was pretty funny.
The guy you thought wasn't funny was the funny one. And
I thought actually they were all pretty funny.
Everybody was pretty good. So it ended up being a fun show.
Except the first guy, Mr. Hamptons.
Oh God. So one guy, part of the thing is like, how do you want me to introduce you, right? So this guy goes, I've done it a lot. I've been doing comedy for a while. And then like I can tell he wants to tell me something, but he's hesitating. And he's like, actually, I'm like, what? He's like, actually, they call me the Hamptons comic. And I'm like, oh, do they?
Who's they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Your friends?
Yeah, friends. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll introduce you as the Hamptons comic, and then your name. So anyway, I go up, I do my set. I think it was a fine set. I had fun. People were laughing, and about 7, halfway through, whatever time it was, I'm start thinking about like I have to bring this guy up. I completely blank out on the guy's name. I remember the Hamptons comic, but I'm like, I have to say the guy's name. So
you should have just said pretentious fucking asshole.
So I start
self-nicknaming.
I start sweating as I'm telling my jokes. If you sometimes you tell your jokes, but the back of your mind is completely thinking about something else. And it probably, it might show in the performance.
A little bit.
Yeah. The last part of my set,
He went through a 15-minute set in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's all. No, it wasn't. He could have milked the jokes that he said, because I taped the whole thing and I was kind of paying attention to the time, and I think it went around being like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well.
And you probably could have did that in 15.
Well, here's the other thing. I had to keep some material if somebody didn't do well, so I could. Yeah. I did do more material.
Yeah, but so wouldn't you want to go slower so you have more and you're taking up more time?
Well, what happened was, at that point when I started speeding up, my mind just started saying the words of the joke, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, what the hell is this guy's name? I'm freaking out. I was sweating. Like, at one point, the video I saw...
Did you watch it yet?
Yeah, I saw it. And it's fuzzy, but if there was a close-up, I was sweating through my shirt, like dripping. At one point, I looked down and I dripped on the mic. And I'm like, what's this guy's name? And I had a
And he
paper.
did the quick 360 and
Oh my God.
it was the worst ending to a set and intro into somebody.
It was such a terrible.
And just because I didn't even see it, like, you know when I've seen all sets, I know the end of the joke's coming and I know he's segueing in, but it still happened so quick and he turned around from the crowd and then pops up with the paper in his hand and I'm like, that was weird.
Yeah. So I take this paper. I like 2 minutes before I'm ending, I'm like going in my pocket. I'm like, I hope this is the right paper, and I'm like, I hope I can grab it upright and read it fast. So it was the most awkward.
It was just an awkward end.
I'm going to like, I put the mic in the mic stand, and I'm like turning around. This next guy, and in the video you hear me like off mic, like this next guy, and I go back and then I say his name and bring him up. But it was so nerve-wracking.
Well, I could
it was just one, and then I go to
That's horrible.
And I go to Chick, and I'm like, dude, I blanked on the guy's name. I just totally forgot. And he goes, yeah. He goes right away with the critiques. He right away.
I'm not there to tell you good things.
Of course. He goes, and he follows up with, the only critique I have is the ending could have been a little smoother. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what I just told you. I forgot the guy's name. I was freaking out. I'm like, it could have been smoother because for the last 3 minutes, I was sweating on stage trying to think of this idiot's name.
That's what I told him. I said it could have been a little slower, and the ending was not smooth at all, bro.
You look like you were panicking.
Oh, totally panicking.
At least I caught it.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you caught it, and it ended up being like a really fun
How
show.
great was my camera work?
Your camera work was good. He would scan out to the crowd every once in a while.
Oh, you were shooting a special.
I shot his thing in a special.
David laughed,
And then what
and he
about
would like go to the
what about the silhouette?
silhouette. Oh God, he took a picture of.
No. All right. I'll go into this. So I'm
nothing
videoing. He was already false. I'm videoing the whole set. So as I'm videoing it, I notice that his shadow is perfectly silhouetted on the back of the behind him on the stage where it says comedy, whatever, and it's like a perfect silhouette. So I'm like, I want to get that in the picture, but I didn't want to stop the video. So I made sure, I'm like, you could always go back in the video and take any one of these shots and make it a picture. So I would just make sure that I honed in on that board, and then I zoomed in and out.
Yeah.
And then I went back, I got the picture, and I showed B. I said, dude, we got your Alfred Hitchcock, bro. How great is this? A fucking perfect silhouette of B and a comic.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture.
We'll show the picture.
That's the picture. It's not bad.
That's a pretty cool picture.
My dumb.
I felt great about it. I'm like, wow, I fucking nailed it, bro.
My big dumb head just. Ugh, God. But it ended up being fun. I don't know. I had
There's a lot of those comics were good. You can maybe go over the names.
No, I don't remember any of the names. I couldn't remember the names when I was there.
Dude, there was like
the Hamptons guy.
Yeah, Ray Goots is the only one I know because he's.
Is he the old guy?
He was one of the funnier guys.
I
He has
thought
an
everyone
album.
was.
He has an album out.
But who was the old guy?
Oh yeah, I love Art Schill. Art
Schill.
Yeah, he's great.
He was hysterical.
Yeah, Art's.
He reminded
Been around
me of this
a
guy
while.
that I work with, who I think was like the funny like this guy, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he could do stand up.
Art Schill.
But this guy
Yeah,
was
he's
like
around
75 years old, and he was fucking killing it.
He's
He
like
was-
a Long Island guy. He's at every mic, every
Oh,
show,
yeah.
Speaking Governors.
and he's like one line guy, like like short, quick
Oh, those
comics.
are fun sometimes.
I love those.
Yeah, I like that.
So funny.
The headliner, Peaches Rodriguez. She was great.
She was good. I never heard of her.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
it just shows you so many goddamn comics out there.
Yeah.
And Long Island's got like its own
Yeah.
comedy scene.
Oh yeah.
There's
No,
like Long
the headliner was
headliners
good.
that-
I told him, I said, honestly, every one of those guys I thought was funny, and even the fucking fat Mr. Hamptons was somewhat funny. He was just like, his jokes were all pretentious, like you could tell the guy's from the Hamptons. You know what I mean? And
well,
like,
he's Mr. Hamptons.
well, and that all of his jokes were just like, either making fun of the poor or, like just great. He was like your typical conservative
like wearing,
Republican fucking
yeah,
like
Hamptons
one of
comic.
those sweaters over the polo.
No, he was
No,
wearing
no,
jeans with his fucking fat gut hanging over them and his
He looked like Fatty Arbuckle up there.
and his button-down collared shirt, like
A preppy Fatty
He wasn't
Arbuckle.
that funny. And then once I heard Mr. Hampton or with the
Yeah.
Hamptons comic,
Yeah.
fuck him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope he's not listening.
Yeah,
or
I'm
he
sure he's
cares,
listening.
but-
He definitely listens.
But the guy who ran it, that's why I was making fun before with the laugh.
Yeah.
The guy who ran it, occasionally him and his old, was that his wife?
I believe so.
So it's like this old couple who run it. And it's like, they were basically standing up every once in a while and taking pictures of the comics on stage. I guess, for their own website or
By the
whatever
way,
they're doing.
he's sent me pictures of myself, and
But he gets right in the face
Dude,
of the comic.
I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna show you some pictures. He not only does he jump in the face of the comic,
Like, he stands up in front of people watching the show, 3 feet from the stage, taking a picture.
and he
of
also
you.
zooms in. He doesn't know how to.
Yeah, I saw him zooming in. I was looking at the pictures he was taking.
There's pictures of me of another show I did where it's just my face, and you could see my eyes just looking like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, like, it's so, like, I don't understand how he gets away with doing that, and the comics are never telling him, like, relax.
He's
bud.
hired. He's hired for
Yeah, I know, but it's just weird. But then somebody will say a joke, and once you realize it's funny, he's just like, and then that's it. And it's like, and then that's it. It'll be like nothing. He's like, It's like the Kawhi Leonard. That's what it is. It's just like one high-pitched, loud, like, and then it's done.
Oh god. So the other thing with the picture, you just reminded me of this. Midway through, when I'm like in between I'm bringing comics up. Sometimes you like do some crowd work there. Do some, That's why the one crowd work joke I got was when that black guy was like, it's called his dick a schmeckle, and I was like, did I just hear you call your dick a schmeckle? I've never heard a black guy call his dick a schmeckle or something like that.
Yeah.
And it got a good laugh. I forget what it was, but.
The other thing that was funny was the old guy when he got off and he had his 2 biggest fans. There's another comic who's up and they're sitting there going like, "Oh, you were so funny," giving the guy a hug.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Like, shut the fuck up. There's another act going.
I'm on stage.
Go outside.
Dude, I'm on stage trying to bring up the next guy. The people in the front row are hugging the guy saying, "You're the funniest comic here." I'm like, what about me? I'm on stage. It was fun.
It was interesting, but it was fun. They had a nice little dinner.
One other thing I just want to say with the pictures, I guess he didn't get a good enough picture of me. So in between, while I'm bringing people up, he tells me, he's like, "You mind going up there and posing?" I'm like, "What? In between, like, as I'm bringing people up, you just want me to stop and pose?" And he goes, "Yeah, do the best you can." So that's when I went up there and I did like an OK Cupid joke. I'm like,
"Oh, that was why you did the OK Cupid
joke. Let me buy me
joke?
some time to so I can get up there." And
It looked like the comic that you were about to call up was like, "Announce me already. Why are you doing Glorious?" I felt bad for that guy because he didn't do it in front of anybody.
I know.
This guy's about to go up, and his family's here in the back right corner, and he's now doing his OK Cupid joke, and the guy you can see is like, all right.
The other funny thing, there was that other guy, tall, strapping young man, he was like, I got
referring
a dad.
to himself as a dad bod. He didn't even have a dad bod.
I get up there, I'm like, if that's a dad bod, what is this? And the guy is shot out as he's walking back. He's like, that's like a 3-kid body or something like that. I'm like, oh, all right, great.
Was it funny or like?
His jokes were funny.
Oh, he was funny. Yeah. He was actually I thought he was very funny.
Yeah.
But he was basically, he's a kid who was half black, half white, so his whole spiel was about
that.
Basically the perks of both sides.
Yeah, he was a local guy.
It was actually pretty funny.
Pretty funny?
I actually found him funny. I didn't get the whole dad bod thing because he doesn't have a dad bod.
No.
I mean, he's not skinny, but he wasn't fat either.
Listen, that's a dad bod, I'll take it.
If you're going to go up there talking about your dad bod, you better have a legit fucking dad bod.
You better
it's not hard to get.
You better be sporting a couple of man tits. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
So then after the show, we enjoyed, we sat down for a nice dinner together.
That was a good dinner.
And it was great. Now, I was turned off one thing.
That I did?
Yes. He orders a fucking well-done burger. And I'm just like, that's
well
so
done?
gross.
I don't like my burgers medium. It was actually very good.
No, I know.
How funny was it with the hot potato when it fell out of the bun onto the floor?
Oh my god.
So I'm eating my burger, and I'm almost done. I'm down to the last half, and probably the last half, the last quarter of the half.
Yeah.
No, it was still a juicy, good burger, bro. Well done doesn't mean burnt. It just means not red.
Yeah, but it's just...
I don't know.
I don't like red,
All right,
bro.
that's an argument for another day. But
Yeah. So
I looked
one,
down- I
she was
think that's
gorgeous.
a
Our waitress was
personality
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. She was a gorgeous woman.
She was good.
No, she was gorgeous from Maryland. She just moved in.
Yeah.
She was very flirty.
We got
You were
everything.
talking to
Yeah.
her.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
yeah.
I talked to them.
Alright.
I'm not antisocial when I go out. I just have no desire to pick up girls because I don't think they're going to say yes, and it's just whatever.
Well, you're in the Hamptons too. So you were
Yeah.
to drive.
No, this wasn't a
2
Hamptons
hours
girl.
back
She was a. Most of the people working there aren't the.
No, I think
Hamptons type.
a lot of them work there for the summer or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Oh,
summer
okay.
job.
But this girl was gorgeous, and she was from Maryland, and but then I was telling B, it made me laugh because right before she gives us the check, and right before B's about to tip her,
yeah.
she tells us she has a boyfriend.
Yeah. Not a solid move.
Not a good move when I'm about to tip you.
That's kinda
ladies out there, if you
weird.
think the guy, or even whatever, if you're a waitress.
Their
and you're
job
about,
is to-
your job is to get tips, not to tell me there's no chance right before I tip you. Even though it wouldn't have probably had an effect on how much
Right.
we were going to give
No,
her.
it wouldn't have
That
changed the way.
sounds so random though. Is there?
It
like
was
a-
just.
Did something
Maybe she.
prompt that?
No, it was.
Maybe-
she was,
maybe it
I was
was-
bullshitting with her, but that
It
was.
might have been the fact that we were talking to her a little, you know,
she didn't want to.
and she's like, I want to let you. She probably didn't want a phone number in the tip, you know how guys will
Yeah,
leave their
that's
phone
Why
number.
do you
like-
care? Wouldn't you rather the good tip and the phone number
True.
and you just throw out the number? Like
Yeah.
I don't buy that. I think
No,
I think she was a nice girl and just, it didn't have an
Also
effect
from
on anything.
Maryland.
Yeah.
So like.
That's what I'm saying. She's a nice girl. I was
Yeah.
gonna say when I found out she was from Maryland, my whole QN was gonna be like, if you don't have any, if you don't know a lot of people out there, we can go hang out and
Maryland, you
introduce
like
you.
crabs? I got crabs.
And then have
Hey,
another.
listen, if you don't know anybody,
caught
I
another girl
like to
checking
sit in
me
my
out.
car and
Yeah, I got
B,
stuff.
talk about the girl checking
Oh my
me
god!
out.
Of course, so there's this girl sitting at the
The
bar.
hot Asian I was talking
Yes.
about earlier.
Oh, the
night.
pink one.
The pink hair.
Mhm.
Oh, I love it.
She's sitting next to her boyfriend, or was it a fiance? Did we figure
I
out?
thought I saw a rock.
Yeah, there might have been a
Or
rock.
it just might have been some bougie ring, but it looked like a rock.
She had her body just like totally faced away from her fiance or her
She's sitting
guy.
at the bar. He's facing the bar. She's 90-degree angle towards him, or almost towards me.
just kept staring at him.
Kept on staring at me.
Now, in retrospect, it might have
you
been.
know there was nothing behind you.
B
or-
told me
No,
it was-
no, it
I
was
didn't.
definitely him.
I did not say this. B
Wow.
caught
It was
this.
definitely him. But now that I've sat on it for a few days,
Oh, don't
she might
break
have
me
been
down.
like, "Why is the short order cook sitting out for dinner? Why is the guy
She's
like
like,
this?"
something is out of place.
No,
Yeah.
she was thinking that handsome bald fellow
Or she was
with the
thinking
comic.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
That was
it
definitely
wasn't
it.
that.
dude.
No, she
Asian
was-
girls aren't as picky. I feel like you ever watch an Asian girl date some ugly-looking dudes? I
Yes.
feel like.
I have seen
So I
that.
feel
I've
like
seen
they
that.
don't have as.
How
they're
was
not
the
as
fiance,
shallow
though?
as. He was much better looking dude than
Yeah.
me.
Tall,
Yeah,
handsome,
tall,
That's
skinny,
all I-
handsome
maybe,
guy.
Maybe she was like, oh, I wonder.
He was probably
What if she
boring
was
as can
sitting-
be.
but he was boring. We could tell he was boring.
He was boring.
Hamptons guy?
Well, I wouldn't have
Probably.
been surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy who's
She must have been
probably.
thinking like, I wonder,
No, he's never made her come
what
once.
I'd have to endure on a daily basis if I were with that guy.
Yeah.
There was about the other couple who looked like they had the most boring conversation.
There was
ever.
just a lot of.
I love looking at couples and just seeing how miserable I think the girl is with the
It's
guy
fun.
and vice
Yeah.
versa.
I love looking at couples who are texting at the dinner table.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that.
And you could just sort of tell whose relationship isn't going great. And
I don't think any of theirs
relationships
were.
going out there in that
Maybe the
restaurant.
best relationship in there was the redhead couple
You
and
and
the
me.
old guy who was just so
Yeah.
drunk. They were getting
No,
laid that
me
night.
and you. Me and you
Oh
were the
yeah,
best
me
couple
and
in
you were
there.
the best couple in there. But no, the ones who were talking, because if you noticed, they were down by the end of the bar.
Yeah,
After you yelled at them,
Yeah.
they went downstairs and didn't even watch the rest of the show.
I yelled at them?
Well, when they were talking, you were like,
Oh, yeah. You're right.
oh, well, they gotta.
they were getting laid. That was like an older couple. That's like that older couple you see at a bar where they're probably not like girlfriend and boyfriend, but they're like kind of dating and they're older and they're both
divorced,
drunks.
maybe.
Yeah, divorced.
Yeah.
And they were having a good time.
Yeah.
And she was probably going to blow him in the back.
Probably.
Nice.
Good for them.
He gave them an early out.
Yeah. I'm
And then
glad.
me and B had the biggest jam out
Oh,
session on the way home.
That was my favorite thing because
I was going to ask you about that.
that might have been my favorite part of the night. Just like that
Seeing
feeling,
me doing that?
That feeling that a show is over. I had I had off the next day. I was driving to Connecticut for a show the next night. I'm like, man, this is just fun, and we just blasted great tunes. Chick gave me some great songs, Boys to Men songs that of cover songs that were
Yes.
just fantastic.
It's
It was
called. You know what? I'll bring the album up.
plug it,
and
man.
I'll
They
plug
need a
the
plug.
album.
I haven't heard of Boyz
This
II Men
is
in a while.
a fantastic fucking album by Boyz II Men. It's cover tracks of Motown. It is called Motown: A Journey Through Hitsville.
Yeah.
And we were jamming out to all the fucking Boyz II Men covers.
Awesome.
We
And
were
I was singing my heart out.
we were screaming R&B tunes the entire way home down Sunrise Highway. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful
It was a beautiful
It was
thing.
a nice night. I'm like, the show went well. Everything was perfect. I'm like, it was just a perfect.
It's like a couple waiting to get laid.
Yeah,
It's like
it was perfect, man. Like if he was a chick, like if he was a real lady,
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
We
that
had
was
a real good
That was a
connection.
good date.
That was a
Man.
great date.
Yeah.
He took me out on a great
Yeah.
date.
I would be like, man, I think we have something here. He might be the
This
one.
could be the one.
Me and B might just get married now.
No, it was definitely good.
Minus the sex.
Yeah. Well, come on. Who knows?
One of you's got to shave though.
That Boyz II Men hits us at the right time.
It's just at the right time and the right
I'll make
influence.
love to you.
No, it wasn't that Boyz II Men. It was Motown hits. It was the same old song.
That was fantastic. I love that music. I love that stuff.
So did I. And dude, I was singing my heart out.
So I just,
Soulful.
I want to thank you for joining me. It was well worth the money I spent because I had maybe the best time I've ever had with you, like
Yeah, we had a
outside
good
the
time.
podcast.
That
Like
was.
we see each other once in a while, but it's
Yeah,
very rare.
We don't hang out as much as everyone.
It's very
would
rare
think.
we get a
Yeah.
night out, with
Yep,
each
that's
other.
right.
I wish you were there, Chris.
I know. I should.
We were actually talking about it. I said, I wonder
Should've come.
how Chris would. You should have came.
Yeah,
But I beat you to the punch.
it was a fun Duke's
Yeah, I
night
should have
out.
sat in the back.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that was
No, that's
that
all.
was basically the end of my weekend.
B,
too, though.
what happened to Mohegan Sun?
So we'll get into Mohegan Sun.
'Cause-
All right.
Yeah. We got a cryptic text.
All right. So the next day, I drove up to Mohegan
I'm
Sun.
sweating profusely.
You
Yeah,
look like
are.
you're sweating.
You look like I did when I forgot that idiot's name on
Yeah.
stage.
You can't,
I'm sitting in the
but he's
sun right now
fidgeting, too.
because
He's
I'm
like-
trying
he's
to get cool, and I'm looking. I want to put the fan on, but I don't. But whatever, I'll deal with it.
You want to put the fan on? Will it distract us?
It would kill the
It's a
whole-
little
Oh, okay.
noisy. We'll do it.
Okay. More noisy than you, moving around like a child.
Shut up.
It's fogging like I've never seen before.
Yeah, he's
too.
fogging up.
That's because I'm sweating, but that's all right. Let's not talk about it.
So I get to I do Mohegan Sun the next night. Last comic standing. It's a fun contest. I'll quickly go over the contest real fast. It's tough to get into, in my opinion, like to the next round.
This is the one last year that you
I did it last
I
year.
thought so.
Now, even if I did get, I'm not making excuses. I didn't get past into it. I'm not making excuses for myself. A little bit, but even if I got through, it would have been tough for me to, because it's a night out in Connecticut. You know, you got to spend the night in Connecticut. Because it's like a 3.5 hour drive home, and it ends late. So
Did you take the ferry?
no, the ferry was a 4.5 hour drive. There must have been some kind of traffic back up that way.
okay.
Because when I left my house, I was like 4.5.
How great! I was pushing that too
Yeah.
the whole time for
It was
you.
almost 5 hours to go to the ferry,
Wow.
and I'm like, I don't know what.
Wait, to get to the ferry?
From the route of from my house
Oh,
through the ferry. Yeah, there must have been some kind of an accident or something. So I went, down I-95.
that's crazy.
So I get there, and it's one of these people talk about, like, comics. I'm sure if you're doing comedy for 20 years on the road, just going to these places, hotel after hotel, you're sick of it. But I love it. Like, I love checking into a hotel room. I'm by myself. I'm gonna do comedy. My favorite thing in the world tonight. And it's just a beautiful feeling, right? Mohegan Sun's fun
Beautiful,
place.
yeah, I like it.
It's just huge. You can get lost there. There's a million restaurants. So I was feeling good. The contest, I get there. I knew a couple of comics there. It was fun. We all the New York comics we sort of knew each other. We get up there. It went great. I get up. I did my set. Honestly, I don't say this
Just say
often.
you did good.
I did very well.
That's good. And you don't have to always be so modest about it.
I'm not. I actually, at one point, I had chills. Like on stage, I was like, this is just everything.
You were feeling it.
The stars were aligned. I'm like, this is perfect. But still, I didn't expect to pass because it's a very local thing. I find it tough to pass there. Pass to the next round. But the other comics, aside from my one good friend, Kyle Mara, who's hilarious, he killed. And I'm like, he should be up there. Another chick, she was great. There's a few people that were really funny and that deserved it. But they only picked 3. Now, I do my set, and I think after me there was only 3 more comics. I get back down to the comics table, and I got a good reception. I felt good. And then a few minutes later, one of the comics was like, dude, you had the set of the night. You had the set of the night. Nobody got a response like that. Which I kind of felt.
Awesome.
I kind of felt on stage, but you never really know. It sounds different out there.
And
you know?
you're never gonna say that about yourself.
But you also don't know though. You don't know. It could sound great for me, but maybe in the back of the room. But when somebody that's a comic that was in the back of the room tells me that I had the set of the night by far, I felt good. And for the next 3 comics, I'm like, all right, well, if these comics don't do well, then I should be in. I think I'm going to be in. And right away, I started playing this game with myself. I'm like, don't get excited. Don't get excited. You're probably not going to get in. And even if I do get in, it's going to be tough for me to get back here and, take a night off from work or whatever. So, end of the show comes. They put papers out to everybody. In the front row, there's all judges, which is annoying. As you're doing your set, you can see people writing and judging you, which bothered me the last time, but this time I kind of got it. But I didn't know they also handed out a bunch of papers to people that were in the crowd. So a lot of people had judging papers, which meant a lot of people, if you were there with like a bunch of friends or family, they're judging and they want their, somebody to go up. So, and that was like a few comics. So they bring us all on stage. Now we have to sit on stage. Every comic's on stage like we're cattle, as they like.
That's kind of weird.
It's like any other comic.
No, it is. It's normal. So we get up and I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling good about myself. I'm trying not to get too excited. One guy, my buddy, gets called up, well deserved. The other guy, well deserved. The next guy, I'm like, but after 2 names, I don't hear me. I'm like, ah, shit. The next guy, he went right after me, and I know for a fact he bombed. I saw him bomb. But he had a ton of people there, and I knew he had a ton of people there, and he got the call. And I was disappointed. I was like, man, that's one of those things where I had it tonight. I knew I had it. At Governor's, I didn't have it. I was okay, but last night I had it. I was good last night. And I just didn't get it. So whatever, it is what it is. I leave the club. I'm like, all right, well now
That's sad.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is.
It sucks, dude.
Everybody who's listening right now is crying a little bit.
You know what though? I was on the way home. I was blasting Pearl Jam on the way home. I got into a big Pearl Jam thing.
Ooh.
Love Eddie Vedder. So there's nothing better than I was screaming out.
You were like me the night before.
Yeah, I'm screaming out the words. And I was listening to Release Me, and he's got that part where
Release me!
Beautiful. He's got that point.
I see adjust the volume.
He's got that part in the song where he goes, I'll ride the wave where it takes me. Yeah. And I'm like, that's it, man. I'm just going to ride this wave where it takes me. I don't have to win.
Bro, I figured it out.
It's and I love that line. It's like just it's a great line.
I think one of my cousins has that tattooed on his
it's a beautiful line.
Chest or something.
You gotta ride the wave where it takes you, man. Oh my God, this is beautiful. A lot of people don't get to experience this. This is fun.
That is awesome.
That's a great way to look at it.
But something happened.
But that night,
Yes.
I leave the club. Now, the other weird thing is when you do comedy at a casino, there was a decent amount of people there. I'd say 100 and some people, whatever. You go out, and there's always this thing where I'm going to go out after this. I'm going to get food. I'm going to get a couple drinks. I don't gamble, but I'm like, there's probably people out there that know I just did the show. So I'm like, that's always a little weird. You see people, as you leave the bar, they're like looking at you. And not that I'm famous by any means, but they know you. They just saw you. So I walk out. I turn the corner of Mohegan Sun, and I see this couple. And right away they point at me from a few feet away. Hey man, there he is. It's a comic. And they're like, "Oh my God, hi! We just saw you at the show. You were so great. You were funny." They were very nice. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And they're like, "What are you doing now? Can we buy you a drink?" And I'm like, yeah, of course. And please, they're like, really? Oh my God, you'd hang with us? I'm like, I don't think you know who I am. I'm not anybody. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, I don't know the lay of the land. You know, where do you guys want to go? She's like, I can't believe you're gonna hang out with us. I'm like, yeah, I'm
hanging out.
I'm like, it's either you or myself and my cell phone. So they're like, all right. They're like, let's go to this bar over here. I'm like, all right. And right away, within 60 seconds of meeting them, the girl, I'm trying to figure out, are they in a relationship? The girl gets really flirty right away. Very sexual. She's like, do you have any sexual jokes? I like kinky stuff. Like, within 60 seconds. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not really my thing, you know? I'm like,
you are the worst. You should have made one up on the spot.
Yeah, well, I didn't have one, so I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll get away with my charming personality at the bar and see how this goes, right? So I get to, we go to a bar, and the entire way I'm like, should I ask them? Are they the boy? Because the boyfriend's walking, and he's like, you were really funny, and the girlfriend was like hammered, and she's like all over me, like, dude, I love Mitch Hedberg. I love it. I'm like, yeah.
God.
Oh my God.
She's like, tough act to follow. You know,
yeah.
You're no Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not Mitch Hedberg. You know.
That's great that she said that because Mitch Hedberg is probably my favorite stand-up.
Mitch Hedberg's great.
Yeah.
And she was
short-lived, but he's amazing.
She was probably on the same amount of drugs that took out Mitch Hedberg. I would come to find out. So we sit down, we have a drink. They buy me around. We're talking. They're from California. They're from town. As the conversation, have you guys ever heard of cuckolding?
I've heard of it.
Okay. You know what that means? Basically, cuckolding, from what I've heard, is when there's a guy in a relationship. His thing, he gets is watching her with another guy.
Yes.
Right. And that seemed to be the vibe of this couple.
Was it the vibe, or do you know this was the case?
It was the case.
Was she attractive?
Okay. We'll get into all this.
Why don't I ever get into these situations?
I'll tell you why. Because and I was thinking about this on the way home.
What, me?
Yes. Because I knew you were going to say that. And the reason why you didn't get into these situations...
Don't say it's because I don't go out.
Well, it's not going to happen in your house.
I know.
But also, if a random couple came up to you and they looked crazy, again with the Eddie Vedder lyric, you got to ride that wave where it takes you, baby. Let's see what happens. You
don't know me.
You would be like, fuck that whore. I'm not in a drunk, in her boyfriend. She's got a boyfriend, bro. Well, whatever. And you would go back to your room or you gamble or something like that. I was like, yeah, let's grab a drink.
Can I tell you?
Tell me.
Perfect example is when I went to the Wu-Tang concert at Mohegan.
Okay.
And when I would smoke a cigarette, I talked to people. So I don't think that would have been something that if I was a comic and somebody noticed me and wanted to buy me a drink because of that, I'm sorry, I would have. And when I realized she wants to fuck me in front of her husband or boyfriend, that would be a little weird, but I might do it.
Now,
and you should have.
Now, I want to be clear, that word, they never said it, but there was innuendos, and there was, and I'll get to that. But the act, they didn't come out and say, would you go and, I don't know what I would.
Here's a nice comic. Maybe he'll fuck you today, honey.
Dude, it seemed like if another comic was walking out, maybe they try the same on them.
They were waiting outside the club.
I just happened
honey,
to
we're gonna go to the comic show. Whoever we think's the funniest, we're gonna try and fuck tonight.
So you won the contest.
Yeah. In a way, I won a different contest.
You won a contest.
You won the real contest.
Yeah.
Was she good looking?
Okay, so if
there should be no reason.
Yeah,
was she
like
a good
she wasn't
looking
terrible.
girl?
She had weird eyes. She had eyes that made.
I don't care. Like, was she good looking?
She was okay. I wouldn't say she was ugly, but I wouldn't say she was beautiful.
I'm not asking if she was beautiful. If she was single, and you were talking to her, would you try and take her out?
If the opportunity happened, I probably would.
So she was good looking.
But I
But
wouldn't.
are you pursuing?
I wouldn't pursue it though.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be somebody I would pursue. I wouldn't swipe right
I've seen
on her.
somebody you pursued, and I don't.
Okay, I don't even know that.
Yeah.
I don't pursue anybody. First of all, so
Chris knows what I'm going with that, but anyway.
I don't. I can't wait to hear after the show.
I can't wait to tell you.
So I I'm sitting there, and the conversation is just getting weirder and weirder. They're telling me about stuff they like to do in the bedroom.
What do they like to do?
Cocaine, and there's a...
She likes to rail cocaine off his cock.
They didn't say that, but there was this...
That was oddly specific of
Because
you.
that's
That's...
what I was thinking.
It wasn't that,
That
but...
she just dumps it out.
There was the term that they used called double stuffing.
So he plugs her and then he fucking puts a dildo on her asshole.
Yeah.
God bless this guy.
and
This girl would have been so much fun for you, B.
I get that, but also maybe a problem.
Not if it's a one-night thing and you never talk to him again.
As this is going on, now
Stuff on your Instagram.
The other thing I kept doing was taking my drink and moving it away from them.
That's
I'm like,
fair.
These guys are insane.
Well, they
First
might
of all,
actually roofie
Where I'm
you.
like, I felt like I was gonna get roofied. Because then they got me like a Jameson, like a straight Jameson. I'm like, I just drink beer. And I'm like, I want to order it by myself and get it out of the way. Another red flag is the entire conversation. I'm looking around.
These are more like green flags to me.
Yeah, that you live a different life. The other red flag to me was I'm looking around the casino ceiling. I'm like, well, there's cameras here, so if something happens, at least my friends and relatives will know who took me away and shot my body
you're
up
one
in
of
the
those
woods.
like missing person YouTube videos.
I was literally
He was last seen in the crap section.
I was literally going through my mind like, man, the cameras will pick me up here.
Waving to him.
I'm looking him up. I'm like,
He's got a sign that says help.
but I am interested in this, obviously. So it's going on, and they did at one point after the second drink. They're like sort of talking to themselves about me as the conversation's going to.
Like, you think he's good, honey?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was
maybe.
almost like they're trying to assess me while I'm trying to assess
They're
them.
giving you grades.
Yeah. They're like, should we ask him now?
They're
Should
just
we
like
get
the judges at the comedy show. They're just writing shit
Let's
down.
get,
Yeah,
let's get a couple
exactly.
more drinks in him, hon.
Yeah, should we do another drink? He said he doesn't drink liquor. Let's get a Jameson straight.
I
I'm
think
like,
he likes drugs.
yeah. Well, that came up. That drugs came up. They
Did
started.
they ask you to come back to the room to do drugs?
Well, it almost got to that point, and that's where I had to cut it off. Because one of the things that they kept saying, they kept mentioning this thing called BTH. And I'm like, what the hell's BTH? And she casually, so she goes, black tar heroin. Oh! And I'm like, oh!
They're heroin addicts?
Oh, see, that kills it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
That's tough, right?
Heroin addicts are tough.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm
You
like,
give them the heroin, you don't do it.
there was a lot of talk.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not being in a room with a horny couple on
there's
heroin.
a lot of
okay?
culpability going on in that situation.
I wish you were in this room.
Oh my
I
god.
wish you made it to the room and they whipped
Dude.
out the package right in front of you.
I kind of wish you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This story.
So
this story's great, but it
yeah.
could be so much better.
It could be. It could be. But it also could be.
Could be so much
it
worse.
It
You
could
could
be
also
so
be
much
in jail
worse.
for-
A lot of things could have happened. I didn't trust them. That's what it came down
No,
to.
they seem very trustworthy, though.
Yeah, right.
They're very honest.
This woman's eyes were as black as midnight. Like, there was something wrong with her. You know, you can, like, tell a lot from somebody's
So what did
eyes.
they say about the heroin? I want to get into that.
They brushed over it. Because they were trying to read me the entire...
They were
but-
trying to see if he was down for...
Yeah, they knew if I
Maybe
knew,
they
like,
think you're the
acronyms.
type-
Like,
maybe you look like a heroin addict.
no, but I don't think I look like a heroin addict.
Or someone who enjoys heroin.
Maybe. I think they thought all comics... they kept bringing up Mitch Hedberg, and I think maybe
They
thought
think you're a drug addict comic.
all comics just party hard.
That's what they were hoping.
And I was like, no, I'm
And
like...
they got the most straight edge
I'm like,
one out of all
I'm
of
like,
them.
that guy's dead. I mean, I like a few beers after his show. But then I'm going to go home and watch a little Below Deck and fall asleep.
It's like Pulp Fiction.
yeah.
Oh, goddamn! But she sniffs it in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Say goddamn.
Great scene.
That
And,
is a great scene.
So then the move comes and I see it happening. I'm like, this is where they're going to ask me. And,
This is where they spike my drink.
and they're like, all right, well, it was sort of, I think they were like, either we do this or we don't. Like, what are we doing here? And the husband sort of got into a thing. And she's like, oh, he goes out of nowhere. It was almost felt like a fake little fight. He goes, oh, so now you want to be with him? Like, it was, like, I was
that's
like, oh.
fucking weird.
And then he walked away. Which I interpret as, now this is her time to be like, Listen.
Dude, they're about to steal your
Yeah.
liver.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
That was the other thing.
Yeah, that could have
They
happened.
could have
Yeah.
fucking killed
That's
him and
some-
took one of his
yeah.
organs.
I don't know if they went for a kidney.
Yeah.
Oh, they would have been sorely. Oh, we really picked the wrong one. He
We
doesn't
picked
do
the wrong
heroin.
one. This guy's got no
He's
kidneys.
got nothing in there. What's going on? So as the guy goes away, now I adjust my seat at this point because now I'm like, where? I'm like, it's getting weird. This guy disappeared into the night.
no, that's fucking.
So as she was sitting in between us in the middle, and I was sort of, legs towards her, and then I as soon as the guy left, I like
Put
changed
your
posi-
arms on her.
no, dude. I changed positions. I put my arm out. I'm like, I just want to be clear. I'm not hitting on this girl. Like, I don't want any weird thing. I don't want anything weird to happen. I just didn't trust them. You know what I mean? It'd be different.
That's the bad decision I would have made. I probably would have tried to bang her after he left.
Maybe, and
And you would have lost the liver.
I would have lost the liver.
and it might have been a great story. It might have been like one of those once in a lifetime opportunities that,
Or you came back with AIDS.
or I'm like,
Almost definitely.
yeah, like
Either. Almost definitely.
Definitely.
like the positives of it, the negatives, and the.
But it's a really good story for the podcast.
I understand, but I figured like getting close enough was good enough for the
Yeah,
podcast.
getting close enough and the black market organ dealing that was going on there.
It was just a lot. She wanted to have that. The other thing is that she didn't want. It seemed like she wanted the two of us at the same time. So I'd have been with a guy too, which I don't know if I can barely perform with one woman in the room, let alone some weird guy on heroin. I don't know. It probably wouldn't have worked out either way.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
So he left, and then I stayed for a few more
No,
minutes.
he probably would have. Maybe they would have did like those fake porn videos where you like handcuff him to the bed and he's got to watch
God
you
knows.
have sex with his wife.
God knows, but either way,
Like he doesn't
Maybe
want you to.
something like
You
that.
know what I'm saying, bro?
He's like, no
Everybody
way.
knows what I'm talking about. Don't
No
act
way.
like you know.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. And so he goes away for like 10 minutes, and then he sort of, wanders back, and I'm like, hey, as soon as I caught eyesight, I'm like, hey, buddy, it was great to meet you. I gotta roll. Maybe I'll see you some other time. And I gave the girl a hug, and I got the hell out of there. I woke up this morning so happy that I was alone, alive in my bed by myself.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. It was, I couldn't have handled it. I couldn't have handled it.
No, I'm listening.
And-
I'm all talk.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
if I would have been able to handle
It
that
just got
either.
too
Got a
weird.
little sketchy
It got,
at the end.
it got too much. I couldn't.
That is a little weird. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm all talk there. I don't know if I would have been
Plus,
able
I'm
to
always
handle that.
very aware about those organ situations. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a thing.
I think this girl just wanted to be railed out. I don't think she really wanted my organs though.
I don't know, bro.
She seemed. There was something there. Very sexual stuff.
The heroin.
Yeah.
The heroin?
That's a deal breaker.
The heroin is a deal
That's
breaker.
a
I don't
breaker.
deal with
Come on,
heroin.
that's-
Like, I'm not into it. Like,
But sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you can only fake heroin too much. So
Yeah.
much, though,
Oh, this isn't affecting me at all.
Yeah.
No, you just gotta.
Oh yeah, BTH, the
black tar heroin.
Heroin.
Heroin, heroin. I can't even
The
say it.
only kind.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the only
Yeah. Fucking love it.
So,
Can't be doing that other stuff.
yeah, so that's what happened to me last night. Very,
BTH, bro. BTH.
yeah, BTH, the BTH killer.
Well, you had a much more exciting Sunday than I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'd say.
I do have some picks though this week, and I'm excited about these.
do you on top of on top of the movie?
Oh, I thought you were doing homework on picks. Chicks got
I am
picks
doing
in
homework,
place
and
of
I'm working
picks.
on those. I told you I just got to finish watching a couple of those for next week, but I have a couple that I watched this week that are
Okay,
just
baby,
good
good
stuff
stuff.
that I like. Get home from the movie, and I'm like, I want to know a
Haven't
little bit
seen
more
enough.
about the Marilyn Manson
Yeah.
stuff.
I need more films.
So I go and I watch Inside the Manson Cult, The Lost Tapes. It's on Hulu. It's a doc about the Manson family.
Okay.
And it's super interesting. And I didn't know a ton about them and how Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson wasn't even the actual murderer. He was just like a cult leader, talked all these people into doing sick shit. But it's just really interesting. And after I watched the movie, I just kind of wanted to see a little more about that. But it was actually very good. It's brand new and it's on Hulu and it's also on Fox. So anybody, Inside the Manson Cult, The Lost Tape. and that's
Cool.
got a lot of real life video of Manson too, which it's interesting. The other thing I watched was on Netflix, and this was actually a very left-leaning documentary. I usually don't love. I mean, I love political documentaries, but you got to take them for what they are. But this one's called The Great Hack.
Oh, see, I was gonna bring that up.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically a Netflix doc about how the company Cambridge Analytics was under investigation for basically illegally using data gained from Facebook to win the election and the Brexit
What
campaign.
kind of company is Cambridge Analytica?
They're just like a data company.
They're like a data company.
Okay.
Yeah, they basically, I mean,
So they were stealing, like...
they weren't stealing. What they were doing was targeting, okay, I'll use it in this, how they did it. So let's say there's 5 swing states and 100,000 people living in those swing states. And there's 25,000 people that they've got based on personality tests and stuff that have been done through Facebook, where they could put these people in personality traits. And now off of those personality, you look at the ones who you think you could sway their vote, who are on the fence. And it's basically targeting those people in the swing states. So, and here's where I say, it's super interesting. Is it illegal or is it unethical?
Well, I think that's the problem. is that
Exactly.
We don't have laws for it yet.
So there's no laws. So what they were doing wasn't illegal, and they're not, making you do something. You still have to go there and vote. But
Yeah.
that's the fine line.
Yeah.
Is they're using so much information that we don't even realize they're
Yeah.
using, and it's from all these user agreements that nobody
Yeah,
reads.
well, I mean,
reads
the
it.
problem with those user agreements too is like when people started agreeing to them, and to this day in a lot of countries, including ours, I think, there's no actual like laws about what companies can do with your
Yeah,
data.
they can do whatever and you're
can do
agreeing
whatever
to
you
it.
want, and you're agreeing to it, and a lot of people agreed to it. Like, when did you guys start Facebook?
Yeah.
Like,
And now the other ones are just updates, and it's like agree to the terms again,
Exactly.
and
And
you
so
just
do it. So it's like, it's data that you gave them, but like you didn't really know what they were gonna do with
So
it.
yeah,
That's like what... That face app that everybody was going...
Well, that was just made from somebody who's from Russia, and
Yeah,
they're just
and people
saying
just
it's
started freaking
right
out
away.
about
Once
that.
Russia gets involved, everyone thinks it's a corrupt.
Yeah.
Well, it could be.
Well, I mean, but it was
They were around
it
a
was
few years ago,
data
too, with
mining
something else.
resource.
Well, yeah, that's
They
what I'm
just
saying.
wanted
Like, it's
pictures.
the
People
same
get freaked
thing.
out when they're like, "Oh, my image is going to be used." But
But
at
you
the
know
end
what?
of the
All
day,
your
'cause they
pictures
take
on
like-
I mean, they're
Instagram,
all out
Facebook, and all
yeah.
that are all out there anyway. So anybody who really thinks that they're not is crazy. But like the reason why I say it was extremely left leaning was because when you're watching it, the whole time they're basically making it out to be blatantly illegal. And that's not really. It's more
I don't know if they
unethical
were
than
doing
I.
that. Well, they are in trouble.
Yeah, but it's Cambridge not they're not like the Brexit campaign isn't under screw. I mean, it's under. It's more
Well,
like to me it was more of a battle of ethics than it
It's
was
an
a
ethical thing.
legality.
It was definitely an ethical thing, but I think the UK is calling into question the legality of it.
Well, they are. They're calling
Yeah.
into question now.
So,
the
because
problem is
there
none of
are
these
no
laws
laws.
were really written
That's
yet.
the problem. So it's not illegal, but it's not illegal because we decided it's not illegal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
So
it's just an extremely not black and white gray area.
yeah, it's
so not black and
it-
white where it's like
I feel like that documentary was such a great intro to like, okay, now for the next few years, I want to follow what happens.
oh yeah,
with
exactly.
These laws.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna make laws?
Well, and that's the whole thing. You're
You
going to
would
be
think
laws,
that
and,
laws are they're gonna have to do something, right?
but the people who are making the laws
But
don't
that's-
want to use
that's-
these laws because
that's the
they've
thing.
just basically won an
Yeah,
election
jeez.
with see, it wasn't the reason why he won, but it didn't hurt. And when they wins all those swing states, and you know what I mean? Like there's some people think, some people will say it's smart for using the tools that you have, and others will say that it's completely unethical that you're taking people's
I mean,
information and
it's
targeting
both.
them.
Yeah, it's
and
both.
that's like what they're also saying is your Facebook feed and your Facebook feed and my Facebook feed are all different, including the commercials. We're all getting advertisements specifically to the things that you're liking and clicking on.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
nobody's.
they're listening to you through your phone, like
Yeah.
at all times. Like,
Yeah.
you guys had that thing.
What
where
was
you
it? How many
listening
points
out
of
loud.
what was
it's
it?
Like a lot.
What was it called though? Points of.
It's like
I forget. There was something like.
basically all the ways that they can get information.
Yeah, and it was like by the time you're 30 years old, there's like hundreds of thousands of points of. I forget what the word was. I'm sorry, but it just like points of personality.
Not
Like,
as sorry as we are.
but dude, it was extremely
We'll never get
interesting.
this word.
It's crazy though. It's like such an eye-opening thing
It is.
about all the shit.
Like
that
the
they know
information that
about
we
you.
have out there, they know everything about us.
Everything.
And that's why, but like, there's people I
How about
knew.
that old information highway, huh?
Be still on the Silk Road.
But no, it's funny because I know a lot of people who didn't want to see it. They're like, "Oh, it's going to be so left leaning," and I was like, "Listen, it is."
But that's
But-
also dangerous. Like you should.
But
watch
that, and
stuff
that's what.
that-
And
yeah.
my point is, I'm not necessarily, a liberal by any means. I do have some liberal view. Whatever. It's not even about my politics. You should watch things from both sides.
Yeah.
I watch things that are
Even if you
anti-Trump,
just look at
pro-Trump.
this and you're
You make
like-
your own decisions.
Yeah, even if you disagree with the politics of it, the information in it,
It's still
is
is accurate.
holy shit.
Yeah.
The
And
information
that's
is
exactly
holy
what.
shit.
And,
Like,
and
what
then
they
that's
can do with your data
exactly.
is ridiculous.
And that's
Oh,
what I
fucking-
thought was super interesting about it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I highly recommend it to everybody to go see it. And then
Yeah, definitely watch that.
yeah, it was really cool, especially in today's day and age. And if you're getting into the politics with Trump, and the whole thing they're saying is, are we ever going to have another election now that's not swayed one way or another through this shit? So that it's a big deal. The last documentary thing that I want to put on was a documentary on HBO. I said there was those 3 documentaries
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out. The last one was last week, and I thought it was the best one.
Yes, I
They
wanna
saved
watch
the
this.
best for last. It was called "Who Killed Garrett Phillips,"
Who did?
and it's basically another documentary on HBO. It's about a 12-year-old boy
Did we
who's
find out who did?
no. Why do you ask like questions that I don't want to give you the answer to? You fucking idiot!
I don't know.
I know you're trying to be funny with the
I'm
title.
not trying to be funny. I'm
Yes,
just
you are.
No, I'm not.
It's about a 12-year-old boy who was killed at home, and his mother's ex-boyfriend was the one who was charged with murder. But it's like an extremely small town. The guy was black, so there's a lot of racial innuendos and tension, and everybody thinks he did it. It was very interesting. I have a legit view on it after watching it. As far as I don't think there was enough evidence to convict anybody or anything, but watch
So,
it.
okay.
It was extremely interesting.
All right.
All right.
And yeah, you make your decisions. But those 3 that were on HBO were all great.
I'm excited
I thought
to
this
look
was
at
the
that.
best one. So yeah, that's it. The Great Hack, the Manson, the Lost Tapes on Fox, and then this guy. Who
a
killed
lot of
Garrett
time, a lot of
Phillips.
people in the comedy circuit call me the Great Hack.
After that joke.
That's it.
But yeah, those are my picks. And go see the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Alrighty. All
I
right.
booked out for the next month every
I'm definitely going to
episode.
be doing that. And what?
I said I'll keep on promoting that movie because it
Yes.
was so good. I can't wait to go see it again.
I want to see that.
When are you going to see it again?
I wanted to go yesterday, but the guy I was going to go see it with saw it the night before. He was like, I just want
He's
to go
not a
on tonight.
two-time.
No, he didn't see it yet, and he wanted to. He asked me if I would go with him. So
Okay.
when he decided to go the night before I couldn't go, he called me while I was at the show. And I
Okay.
was on a date.
Yeah, you were.
I was-
I'm busy.
I'm busy, buddy.
I'm spending my night in Hollywood in a different way. Seeing the scenes.
But yeah, that's my week, man. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else you guys got going
That's it,
on?
right?
Or
No.
wow, if you made it this
Guys.
far, this is a relatively short episode. I feel
No,
like.
we went same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How long
Time
have we
flies
got?
when you're having fun.
115.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's
All
good.
right. Well, again, if you made it this far, guys, review us on the Purple Podcast app.
The Purple Podcast app,
Isn't that
not the green one.
the Purple Podcast
Purple
app?
Podcast.
Yeah.
Review us, rate us, and yeah, keep listening. If you have any other
Subscribe.
questions, you could subscribe to us.
Yeah.
You could send us emails or comments to our website at adultbabyshow.com. And yeah, that's it.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
We love you. Peace.
Later.
Oh.
Sweet. That was good.
I like that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a decent story, right?
That story
Yeah.
was funny.
You really almost got picked up by this couple?
Yeah.
You should have banged them.
Dude, part of me I really wanted to, and I wanted to see where it would go, but honestly, with the heroin shit, it just freaked me
The
out.
heroin for me would have been
The heroin's a deal
It
breaker.
really freaked me out, and they just weren't right. I could tell early on they weren't right.
You guys aren't paranoid about the organ shit either?
No.
Get a little paranoid about the organ shit.